Welcome to the forecast. To my right, we have APAT and Alex. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
And to my left, DWG. How you doing?
Doing good.
We are the Wednesday Comics crew, telling you about the books coming out for the week of 5/9/2018. This is 2nd May. Yep. Second Wednesday in May.
Second May of the year.
How is it that like, if you listen to these forecasts, literally 95% of the time I do that. Like you know why? Because just keep rolling, baby. I don't think about this. I'm going to tell you the comic books coming out and let you know what to pick up, what looks good, and what we've been reading and what is good. First up, analog number 2. This is Jerry Dugan, David O'Sullivan. Chapter 2. Garrett, you were just talking about on your Catching Up the Garrett, you just read issue 1. You enjoyed it, correct?
Yes, I did.
And you're looking forward to issue 2?
I am looking forward to issue 2. I thought that, like, issue 1, I love the art style, the story itself. Like, I don't know all the beats, but enough that it definitely gets me to want to read issue 2. I thought it was just fun and a good action book that probably have a more developed story as each issue goes on.
Alex, are you going to pick up number 2?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Like, I liked issue 1. The first half was good, but that second half kind of just wasn't hitting the points I wanted, where I'm almost on that fence, kind of like what Marvin will be, of not getting it.
Do you see this cover right now? Some guy's getting his fucking face bashed in from a copier.
Well, Alex, I'm not on
the
any
idea is good.
I'm not on any fence. I'm not getting issue 2.
Well, I know you're not. I mean, but Marvin only gives one issue anyway. If it's good, he gets it.
You gotta.
Good,
how many issues you got to give a book? If one doesn't grab you, then I'm done.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that I've had TV shows that don't grab me. Parks and Rec didn't grab me the first episode. Then you get farther in, it's like, oh, you know what? Actually, the show is pretty good.
I think it's different with TV. With TV, they do pilots, so it's like a pilot episode. That's before they even make the series. This thing is like part of a story he wants to tell. Issue 1 should be enough for you to be like, oh, this is what I... Yeah, the thing was, I didn't think it was bad. It was bored by it, but I knew reading it, I was like, this isn't for me. It wasn't that I thought it was bad at all.
Nice.
So you're going to get it. You know what? I bet you anything you get it. You'll get it for the first arc, and you'll test it out and see how it is.
Oh, yeah. I think the part is that I'm on the fence because I'm not sure what to think. I may at least look through it and go, yeah, I don't need it, but odds are I will most likely get it.
No, it's on next on the list. Excuse me, Barrier number 1.
Wow.
Brian K. Vaughan and Marcus Martin. This is the collector's edition. So on Free Comic Day, if you got the issue number 1, let's see here. After making the massive 50-plus page first issue available for mature readers for free on Free Comic Day, the special collector's edition of the first issue is being released in a larger size to match the next 4 issues, which are being released weekly through the rest of May. Printed in the original landscape format and graced the gorgeous cardstock cover. Each comic is meant to be a durable work of art. There's no plans for these print issues to ever be collected. So the only way to own your own copies of this groundbreaking story is to support your friendly neighborhood comic shop. So it's only going to come out in issues. They're not going to get a trade of this. That's what I'm reading by that. And this first issue, if you went and you got that Free Comic Day, but it's not going to be the same quality as the issues coming out. And this is for people like Alex that want to be like, oh, I got to match the same type of those issues. So are you going to get this, Alex, even though you got the thing for free?
Yes. I thought about taking it off my list, and it's like, you know what? I still want to have the actual, it sounds stupid, the actual issue that goes with the other 4 that are going to be coming out.
Well, if you got the issue, it's like a normal comic book, but this sounds like it's cardstock. It's a nice collector's edition. So you know what? It's not bad. I mean, if you're going to get this thing and have it on your shelf, and they're not going to release the trade, you really should get it in the same type of format. You know what I mean? It would look weird with that Free Comic Day 1, and then you have the rest of the issues.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
If I pretend to be like Alex. Speaking of which, Barrier number 2, you can get issue 1 and 2 tomorrow. So if you missed out on that Free Comic Book Day, go and pick up issue 1 and 2. A lot of praise for that book. I haven't taken a look at it. I mean, I took a look at it. I haven't read it. Looks fantastic. Marcus Martin, one of the greatest artists, did with Brian K. Vaughan. They worked together on Doctor Strange the Oath. And here they are working on Barrier for Panel Syndicate. So, did you guys get this Dissonance book?
No.
I got the first issue and dropped it.
Well, let's move on then.
No.
Isola. Isola by Brendan Fletcher and Carl Kerschel. Art by Mysick and Carl Kerschel. By the way, if you go back a couple weeks, and probably you're not wondering, but I feel like I need to tell you. I was trying to think of the artist. I was like, hey, that I want to be on Flash. It was Carl Kerschel. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Oh.
But that's the person when I was like, hey, if they're going to get a new writer for Flash, get a new artist. And I was thinking of Carl. But this is issue number 2 with the hunting clans closing in. Captain Rook leads the Queen to the city and ruins on a desperate mission to resupply, but knows to them, however, a new danger awaits within the broken walls, someone with a connection to Rook's past. Alex, what do you think? Issue 1 came out. Did you get a chance to catch up?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I read issue 1. It was good. I'm actually really looking forward to issue 2, but like Garrett said, I think before the show, there's a big blue tiger on that cover. I'm sold. Even if I wasn't getting this book, I would be getting this issue just for the cover alone.
Issue 1 was really strong. For being set up in a very detailed world, I think we got a great taste of what's to come, and yeah, I'm super excited for this series. Like, I really like it.
It really is. It felt like animation come to life. Like Carl's artwork along with the story. It really, like you just said, Garrett, it feels like there's a bigger world there. And it wasn't like other books where I'm like, well, it feels like you're trying too hard to make a bigger world. It just felt like I was getting a snapshot and like, I'll see more later. So in that way, it felt, it's weird to say, but it felt like it was a complete world within one issue. I just didn't know anything about it yet. So I am looking forward to this issue 2. I did like 1. It had a feeling of, in the press release said the same thing, but Miyazaki's kind of movies, it kind of didn't feel that way. Like it felt like it was it could be for kids, but also was like, this is kind of going to be a little bit adult too. So all ages, I'm not sure if that's true, but it did feel like that in the first issue. But we'll see. We'll see if there's any violence. Was there any violence in the first issue? There's no blood.
Yeah, there was sort of.
Some blood.
Oh, there was blood? Okay, never mind. I guess not for kids. What else we got here? We got Medieval Spawn, Witchblade number 1. This is Brian Hooglin and Brian Haberlin. I don't think any of us are getting this. I just wanted to mention it's new number 1. So if you're into Witchblade and Spawn, Medieval Spawn, excuse me, look at this guy. Go ahead and pick this up. This is a premiere miniseries, all new crossover with 32 pages of story and art, plus special augmented reality cover for only $2.99. Don't miss out on this deal. That's not me. That's the copy. Oblivion Song by Kirkman and the Felinci, number 3. This is Nathan Cole finds out there's some of the people stranded in Oblivion that didn't want to leave and will fight to the death in order to stay. Garrett, what do you think? Oblivion Song? Looking forward to this?
Yeah, I am. I'm really loving the concept of the story. So much so. Don't kill me, comic book fans, but I'm loving this book way more than Walking Dead right now. I think this is like a fun, original take on a story. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. Makes me think of good monster movies and things like that. So yeah, I'm really pumped for this, and I've been loving the story that's been going on.
Alex, what do you think? Your first Kirkman book, you're about 3 issues in. 2 issues plus this one. Is you still into it or not really?
You know what? Weirdly enough, I'm really not into it. Like I remember liking the first issue. I read the second issue today, and it was good. But there's almost something, I guess, to me, Walking Dead almost feel like Walking Dead to an extent when he's in the Oblivion and then he runs into some other person. It's almost like he can't just focus on one character and let that character grow and see how cool this character is without having to throw somebody else in.
Well, that's the whole point of the series, though. He's going into the Oblivion to save these people. That's his obsession. It's not him being in this landscape by himself.
But I would think that these monsters would run more amok than what they are. He runs into a random few, survives it right away, doesn't even have to fight anybody. And then he runs into some just random ass guy. Like, it's not like he even had to look for it. He fell off a building and found a dude.
Yeah, but he doesn't know anything about that dude. He doesn't know, what's happened to him, if he's been contaminated or anything like that.
I want his luck to fall from a ceiling and then find a $20 bill.
I actually, so far the first 2 issues I've enjoyed, but I can see it not going in a way I will enjoy and eventually drop. It all depends on what happens, right? Like anything else, but it's still like this one, like Alex said, it has the choice between being generic and being something special. And right now I'm trying to figure out where it's going. So it could go down a route where I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen. This is his usual thing, like Alex is saying, or like Garrett. I could enjoy something like, yeah, it's. I mean, that's the point of this. He's going to go to Oblivion and find these people. But I guess right now I do like the art a lot, and so like I'm kind of enjoying just figuring it out. And when I figure it out, if it's still intriguing enough, then I'll keep on. But as of right now, I think I'm okay. But I mean, it's not like it doesn't blow me away. I think with the last issues we gave like at least I gave like an 8 or something like that. I think I was okay with it. It was like great.
But I think that's kind of how Kirkman works too. It's not like cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger. It's build up, and then it all pays off eventually. Build up.
Yeah, he doesn't write. He
off.
Certainly doesn't write for the issue. He writes for the trade. So you got to wait in like 4 or 5 issues for something to happen. So,
right. Well, and I mean, this is a book that I'm willing to give that arc to, because who knows? Maybe that first 5 issues as like you said, a trade will blow my mind. And be like, yeah, I can't wait for the next arc to come out. As of right now, issue 1 was good. Issue 2, I was like, oh, okay. I'm not blown away. There was nothing special in this issue that made me go, holy shit, I can't wait for number 3.
Southern Masters number 20. This is Jason Latour and Jason Aaron. End of a story arc, gut check finale. As his enemies close in on him to take him off the field for good, Coach Boss has one final play to make. Here's the thing. So about this book, I know we constantly rail on creators who are delaying their books and they're late. I do know they have a legitimate reason for being late. I'm not sure. I mean, still, they might be getting over it. So, but still, finale? I didn't even know what's going on right now. So, I just saw that. I was like, oh, finale. Okay. Well, I thought this would have been beginning of an arc or something because I don't remember what's going on. So I guess I'll have to go back and figure it out, right, Alex?
I remember talking about issue 19, and then I believe Marv and I talked about, I'm pretty sure it was like October we talked about 19. I was like, oh yeah, November and December, they all show at least those issues are going to come out timely, on time, right on. We're at least 5 months later. I remember that Roberta is beating up Boss. That's the only thing I know about that. I don't even know. I'm excited for this issue, yes. But I'm also kind of that fatigue of who gives a shit right now.
The number 19 came out in January, so it's still 4 months, but no, we have 4 months. But still, like you said, I don't know what's going on. So much so this book's not even like, there's that part of your brain where it keeps certain stuff for a short period of time, and if you don't use it enough, it doesn't go with the long term. I forgot the guy's name was Coach Boss. And when I read that right now, I was like, is it really his name? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So, this is definitely a book. If I'm going to recommend any book to read and trade and not get issues, this is the book. This book is great. Remember, Alex, how good this book is? And every issue, It is good. But it doesn't come out enough. I think last year came out, 3 issues came out. So, like, this is a book where you definitely need to trade. I wouldn't recommend anybody get into issues. But I'm already going down that route. You can't turn back around. You can. Maybe after this one, maybe that's what I do. Probably not. Because, for me, if I say I'm going to read in trades, that's the kiss of death. I don't read the book anymore. So.
Well, I think this is one of those books that, like you said, you're already 20 issues into it. The book only comes out 3-4 times, maybe a year.
And how much longer is it going to last? When it comes out, it's
a surprise. Well, that's what I wondered. If this is gut check part 4 or whatever it is, I can't imagine there's going to be that much left of a story to tell. Since the main bad guy sounds like he's going to be getting the shit kicked out of him.
Once Roberta either gets her revenge or Coach Boss actually wins, it's over, right? What else are you going to tell? That's the story mainly. So
unless Boss wins, in which case the other characters that hate Boss step up to fight him.
I can't see this going more than 12 more issues, another year.
Well, is that our year or?
Well, 12 issues. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Time is a bad thing to bring up. 12 issues.
Okay.
Youngblood number 11. This is Chad Bowers and Jim Toe, a tale of two Youngbloods. Japan formally endorses Youngblood, putting them directly at odds with the U.S.'s own Youngblood initiative. Can a trip overseas be far behind for President Diehard? Garrett, what do you think? Youngblood, how's it going?
I've said it before. I still really love it. Right now, President Diehard is from the original team of Youngblood, and his whole part in the first arc was wanting to keep it shut down. Instead, he's going to exploit Youngblood by trying to basically run it and take the kind of title away from the current team of Youngblood. And so that's for like America. And then in Japan, like it said, Japan, they're trying to do the same thing, except they're being endorsed by people over there. So it's kind of like the U.S. versus Japan, or more like President Diehard versus the leader of the Japanese Youngblood team. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, I love Jim Tao's art. Story's been good. This is one of those really fun like reboots of old titles that I'm really enjoying from Image.
Alex, you read this?
I do. I'm actually one issue behind. I think it's literally on my 3-issue stack to read when I get done with the show. I've enjoyed it, but I think my not being caught up, I'm kind of losing that thunder of being excited for it. That first arc I thought was amazing. The second arc, again, being behind, I think is kind of just faltering for me. So I'll see if I'm still going to get it after I finish this next issue.
DC Comics, let's move on here. Batman White Knight number 8. This is Sean Murphy and Sean Murphy. And the exercise finale of Sean Murphy's top-selling mirror series comes to an end here. If I'm to believe Garrett and his catching up with Garrett, this series is still going good, and I can't ask myself this question because I am still behind on this. You know what? So if you go back to like whenever this issue 7 came out last month, I guess, and listen to the forecast, I said I was going to read all the way up to 7 and then wait for 8. Never happened. So now I have to read up to 8, which might be the way to go. Who knows? Garrett, what do you think?
Yes, this series is amazing. One of the best Batman Joker stories I've ever read. I think, if you just know who Sean Murphy is as an artist, there's enough detail in the art alone to tell this story, let alone him writing like bubbles for speech in this. I think it really takes what you think about Batman and Joker as characters and kind of gives you that same opinion, like that you kind of think in your own mind, like they're dynamic together. And also, some Harley Quinn. I think that Sean Murphy really gets who the real Harley Quinn is. So I've been loving this book, and I hope, like he's kind of been hinting at, if he were to do more things in this universe, like we've brought up on the show, he has certain rules for what he would do if he does continue on in this universe, and I hope he does because it's been great.
Alex, are you caught up with this?
Yes, I caught up on this today. Issue 7 was spectacular.
Holy shit, was that issue good.
And I think that Murphy really understands Batman and Joker and how Jack would be if Jack was in control. Every time I read this book, I think he just, when I read it, I hear, what's his name? Who's the animated series Batman?
Mark Hamill.
Kevin Conroy.
Oh, sorry, they meant Joker.
I hear Kevin Conroy being Bruce, and this is definitely my Batman, because at the end of 7 there was just so good. Marvin, I can't wait for you to catch up on this.
What do you guys say at this point? I mean, 8's not out, so you can't really judge on that part, but 1 through 7, if you like Batman but you don't keep up with Batman weekly or monthly, you should pick this up when it's on trade.
Yes.
And especially if you're a fan of the animated series, because I do remember the first couple issues, there's a lot of references to the animated series in here.
Not only that, though, there's like the Batman movies. There's all kinds of different Batmobiles. It's just a fun Batman book. If you love the character Batman, if you love the character Joker, and everything, all the other rogues and things like that, this is just a great Batman story.
I say this is just a great Elseworlds book. It has nothing to do with any continuity other than itself, and it's nice to get this book. It's nice to get that story and to get that gritty feel, and to almost just expand the Joker, Batman, Harley Quinn, Gotham City lore. So this is a book to read.
I do know it's one of DC's top-selling titles, so if they want to do more, I guarantee you it's going to happen. So we'll see. Detective Comics 980. This is James Tynion the Fourth, Scott Eaton, and Wayne Faucher. Batman Eternal Part 5. Alex, what do you think? You catch up with Detective? You caught up,
No, I am actually 3 issues behind.
Oh, okay. Well, Garrett, you caught up?
I am caught up on Detective. It's good. Like, I really enjoy it, but I think this like end of this arc is kind of lasting a while. I thought like 2 issues ago they revealed who the villain actually is. The issue after that is him dicking around, and then I don't know. I'm kind of losing my steam on excitement for this series. Like, I think the last issue with the issue that we talked about with Bruce and with Tim and Bruce was really powerful. The one we reviewed on the show, and since then it hasn't been as powerful. So I don't know. I'm just waiting to see what happens, but I hope something changes in this issue we're going to read tomorrow, and it's going to be enough to propel through the end of Tynion's last arcs or issues.
I think my hopes in Detective Comics, and I guess you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, Garrett, is that it's less about detective work. Like I said, I'm not caught up, but I always was excited for him doing the mystery work, finding out who the villain is or how someone died. I find lately in Detective, it's not about that. It's more of the action Batman book, which I'm not as like. I love watching Batman kick the shit out of somebody, but Batman to me is the world's greatest detective, and that's what I want. That's why I get the Detective Comics.
Right.
Flash number 46. This is Joshua Williamson, Scott Collins. The Road to Flash War. 4 issues until we get to Flash 4, but this is the road to it. Wally West is overwhelmed by fragments from his past, with his protege psyche falling apart. Barry Allen races around the DCU, calling in every favor possible to save his shattered family. Garrett, I know you're caught up with this. The Flash are leading up to Flash War. What do you think about the Flash?
Issue 45, was it? The issue before this? Yeah, issue 45. I was expecting to be like not so good, and it was incredible. Probably one of the best Flash comics I've read in a long time. So I am super excited for this. I think like we're really ramping up to something that crazy that's going to go on here in this Flash War, which is probably going to be, obviously Wally versus Barry, which is what it's seeming that it's going to be about. But it's fun when you kind of take the whole Flash mythos, like past, present, future, and kind of have to mix it all together to tell a cohesive story. So it's definitely going to be epic. And each issue leading up to this, I can just feel that kind of adrenaline that's reaching up to it.
I think that Flash is one of those books that hopefully when I catch up, I am as amped as you are. Because I think a part of that I fell off. I was just like, I don't know. Like, I like the Flash, but I'm almost getting burnt out on what's going on in this book. It's still not nearly as exciting as I want it to be. And I think, unfortunately, I compare it to New 52's Flash, where Manapul was doing the art, and I was just so enthralled by what I was reading. And now I get into these Rebirth books, and I'm just like, it's good, but
if I could retitle Flash 45, I'd call it Speed Force. Fuck yeah, that's what I would call it.
I think you need a black label for that title.
I was gonna say, then you would be fired the next day.
Speed Force, F yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's still not allowed, but we'll go with it. That in your head.
Hell yeah.
Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps number 44. This is Robert Vendetti, Brandon Peterson, Rafael Sandoval on the cover. Dark Star Rising's Rising Part 3. Jesus, off on the whole thing. The Dark Stars draw a fine line in the sand and tell Green Lantern Corps not to cross it, but Hal Jordan never toes the line. Alex, you caught up with this?
No. Marvin, I got to ask you, though. No, to be fair, I'm not caught up on this. These last 3 books we've talked about, they are literally on my stack. I was hoping to be caught up on them tonight so I could talk about them. Happened. But I was going to ask you, Marvin, are you caught up on Detective Flash and Hal?
Well, first off, you don't come at me like that.
I'm just asking because you asked me. It's like, well, no, I'm never caught up on anything. Gary catches up.
I know, but you know me. I'm always late. You're just because you had a child recently, so you fell behind. But Detective, I'm behind 2 issues. Flash, who knows? Don't talk about Flash with me. But Hal Jordan, I am just whatever this arc started. I guess 3 issues. So I'm 3 issues behind. I don't know.
Okay, so you're almost as bad as I am on these 3 books.
The only thing is, that's the way I live my life. So it's not any different. So Garrett,
but it's just
Garrett, how's Hal Jordan?
This arc, I don't think I've really enjoyed that much. Not saying it's bad, but like I don't really know who the Dark Stars are, and I can tell they're a huge threat. Something happens, which I don't know if you guys know about. Cause probably find out in issue 1, or maybe it was the issue before this arc started. But somebody who's a Dark Star, like it's kind of heartbreaking who becomes a Dark Star, and yeah, I don't know. I heard this is like his last, Vendetti's last arc on Hal Jordan, and so far I'm kind of like, I don't know, kind of to the point of not caring. Because I just don't know who they are. I wish they would explain better, like, who the Dark Stars are, and then I could be as, like, terrified as the whole corpse is in the books. Because I'm like, I mean the core, I always say corpse.
There you go.
The whole core. And I don't know. It's taken me out of the book because I'm just like, why should I care about this? And I just kind of don't.
If it's true that this is the last arc for Vendetti, then that's disappointing. I guess I don't know if the Yellow Lanterns are in this book as of right now, but that whole first arc and then into the second was so good. If he's not doing the justice of filling us back in with the Yellow Lanterns, then I feel like we're being disserved. Because that's what I would want to end my story on, is to have the Yellow Lanterns come back and either kick the crap out of the Green Lanterns or go, hey, sorry about the hard feelings, but let's team up because Sinestro's coming back to kick the shit out of everybody.
You know, Alex, to go back to what you're talking about before, it is weird what I decide to keep up on. Like, there's no way I would ever fall behind on Kill or Be Killed or fall behind on Lazarus. But I did. I fell behind on these books. I don't know why. It's not that I don't care, because like if I won't drop the book, but I just feel like if these books read better when you have a chunk. And I think that
I agree.
But like those other books, like Kill or Be Killed, every issue for me is great. Where sometimes Flash is like, I need to read the arc. Like one issue is maybe not enough.
Well, I can understand that. Kill or Be Killed, I do read by the issues. Every issue in itself is a story in itself, and I look forward to that specific issue. Where you're right, all these DCs, and they come out twice a month, other than Batman.
I was going to say Batman's
I almost want to read them because they're as an arc, just to get the whole story, so I'm done with it.
You know what's, and also, and we can move on after this, but I think also like in our circle or like online when I read, I never heard anybody talk about Flash. I never heard anybody talking about Hal Jordan, so I don't have to worry about it getting spoiled. Batman, I hear everybody talking about. So like, I feel like I need to read that because I want to, but also because I'm pretty sure I'll see something about Batman in the next couple of days online while I'm doing something, and I don't want to get it spoiled for me. So, Immortal Men #2. This is James Tynion IV and Ryan Benjamin. Jim Lee. He's really not doing the art. That's weird. Okay, he's doing the cover though. The End of Forever Part 2. Garrett, what do you think? Immortal Men.
I really liked issue 1. I think this is a fun original story based on this new age of heroes that's spinning out of metal. Like I said, I did really enjoy issue 1, and I think this new hero, Caden Park, they're trying to introduce, I think that he's I don't really know enough about him yet to make a decision on how I feel about him as a character, but I'm having a lot of fun reading this book. And I think the team just works well together. There's some other teams I've seen from some new age of heroes, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be into that, but this one I had a gut feeling I'd really like, and when I read issue 1, I did enjoy it, so I'm hoping I'll get more information with issue 2.
Justice League No Justice #1. This is Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson, and Francis Manapul on art. Dark Knight's metal left the TCU transformed in ways both terrifying and wondrous, and only the Justice League is strong enough to face the threats to come. Or are they? 4 giants being compromised to the universe's major energies, mystery, wonder, wisdom, and entropy, who sustain their life force by devouring planets, are on their way to destroy the planet of Kulu. The only way to take down the unimaginable threat is for the superhero teams of Earth to forget everything they thought they knew and form new alliances. What secrets of the cosmos will Superman, Martian Manhunter, and the Team Mystery discover? Will Zatanna, Wonder Woman, and Team Wonder awaken alien magic they cannot put back to sleep? What can Harley Quinn possibly have to teach the rest of the Team Wisdom? And the most importantly, what the heck is Beast Boy on Teen Entropy and with Lobo and Batman? Find out all about this and much more in the most exciting, bombastic event of the summer, The kickoff issue of a 4-issue miniseries after Brainiac systematically takes down all of Earth's super teams. It's the last thing the League expects is for him to ask for their help. Without their aid, his home planet of the universe is doomed. That is one long solicitation. The only things that interested me, well, I mean, that's kind of interesting, but Francis Manapul on art, those 3 writers writing this miniseries, I think actually I'm looking forward to this. As a critic of the former Justice League, Garrett and Alex, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm already excited for it because literally Christopher Priest's run was like a roller coaster. Like it went up and you're ready for the part where it's going to go down really fast, and it did. And then it got really slow going back up again, and then it sucked. So this, I already am like, yes, give me a new fresh take on the Justice League, and you got a great writing team and great art. So I'm all in.
Am I excited? Sure. Not to sound like a stick in the mud, but when you read that whole solicit, I was like, holy shit, that's a lot to say in a solicit itself. How wordy is that book going to be? And I think maybe I'm doubting Snyder too much, but there's a part of me that's just how expansive and how big is he going to make this seem to be, when I'm just excited to hear that these big godly freaks are coming around and DC has to deal with it. That's exciting to me. But hearing that big long spiel almost drags me down going, oh, you're building it up too much for me and not just letting me read the book.
Well, it's not just Scott Snyder as a writer, though. I mean, it's James Tynion and Joshua Williamson. And yes, it could be Scott Snyder's baby. But at least there's enough creative input that it's not going to be, it can get crazy because, the source wall is destroyed. But, I mean, if, from DC Nation, it's the same writing team for that is going to be doing this. So
I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm excited for Manapul art. So
I was going to say that. I know that. I was going to say that. I think that's enough for you, Alex. Manapul art. So, I mean, I would rather. This is weird to say, but I do like Manapul art. But that issue of DC Nation Horror Madness, the way he drew the people and the characters, I actually did really like that. And for me, that seemed like really cinematic, and Manapul seems more artistic, if that makes sense. So it's going to be weird seeing like this event and Manapul's doing the art. But I guess he did before when he was doing Flash. It was kind of like event-ish, so we'll see. But
honestly, if he does the Manapul Flash art, then I'm going to love this book. If it's just straight, here's the panel, here's some art, then I'll be disappointed because I know he can do so much more with it.
Scooby Apocalypse number 25, Keith Giffen, J.M. DeMantis, Rob Wagner, Andy Owens, Garrett, Scooby-Doo. How are you?
I just want to call bullshit on the last issue. What I do still really enjoy this series, but what I got on the cover of last issue, again, you can't do this to me. You can't put something huge on the cover and then you get to the book and that moment barely happens / doesn't happen at all.
Can I ask you a question about that criticism? And I think it comes up every time you bring it up. You've been reading for comics for how long? How do you not realize that happens all the time?
No, it doesn't actually. I've seen multiple covers that actually give me a preview of what's going on in the book.
80% of the time, it doesn't tell you anything that happens in the book.
Misdirection, I think, is alienating your readers. That's not rewarding me for buying your book. That's punishing me for thinking what I'm seeing on the cover is going to be
dropping the book?
Comic.
Are you dropping
I'm not dropping it.
Okay.
But I just call bullshit on the fact that like my excitement went up for something that never was going to be given to me anyways. That was promised.
But if nothing else, they did their job. They got you to buy the book because of the cover.
I know, but not correct advertising.
Is that the cover with Daphne and Fred?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Something happens still, but I can't even explain spoilers. But anyways,
no, I know. But I mean, I know what happened, so it's not what I was. Okay, I know what you're saying.
The book is still really great. It does feel like it's getting closer to an ending. What that ending is, I'm not sure yet, but I'm still enjoying the ride for this story.
Sideways number 4. This is Dan DiDio, Justin Jordan, Kenneth Rocafort. Alex, you cut up Sideways?
Nope, one behind.
Garrett, how Sideways?
Jesus.
You know what? Actually, Alex, you asked me how far I am behind. I'm going to tell you something. I believe I am caught up with this book. I have to be. I think we reviewed number 2, didn't we?
No, we reviewed. Maybe we did. Maybe we did review 2.
3 was the one with the girl that can teleport.
Okay, I didn't read 3. I must be up to 2. But also in my head, and if you go back a couple of forecasts, you realize that I don't remember any time I pick up a book because I thought I was going to pick up Dr. Star. I thought I did not pick that up, but I did. I don't remember picking up this last couple of issues of this book, but maybe I did. Garrett, how is it though?
It is fun. It is good. It reminds me a lot of Spider-Man, but I think it's starting to pave its way for its own thing. That Celestial showed up in the first issue, and the Celestial still is kind of like a Madam Web to Spider-Man. Kind of does hint that it's going to be around, but I think when his first villain shows up, I think it changes the story enough that it's more focused on Derek trying to figure out who he is as a hero. And literally he was in a hospital when this villain attacked. And I thought it was cool that he left the hospital out of his sick bed only with his mask on and his whatever they're called, gown, his nightgown, and still beat up this villain. So I think it's a good story. And Ken Frockefort's art kills it. It's so good.
I'm even though I am behind this book, there's no way I'm dropping it until Morrison gets on and I see how he does. So it should be coming up here soon. So Wildstorm, Michael Cray, number 7. This is Brian Hill, Stephen Harris, Dexter Vines. The last issue, what was the last issue again? Constantine?
Aquaman.
Oh, this is Constantine. So we're gonna have here Dr. John Constantine. So last one was Aquaman. That actually was a great issue. I did like it. We read on the show. And now we have John Constantine. So Alex, what do you think? Looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to this. I actually was thinking about it last week, going, when's this book coming out? It seems like it's been a long time. Forgot that it went on a hiatus like Wildstorm had before. So I'm excited to get back into this book. It's fun to see these I'm going to call them otherworldly supers that Michael Cray has been hired to, for the most part, assassinate and to get information from. So I'm excited to be getting back into this book and to see how he handles a magician instead of, a mutant swimmer or a psychotic speed freak.
Gary, you still reading this book?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I really like the Aquaman arc. I thought that was the best arc of the series so far. And yes, I agree. It does feel like it's been a while, but it did take a planned break between issue 6 and 7. So, excited to see how this Elseworld Constantine coming up here will be like, if he'll use his magic to be a murdering psychopath, almost like every other hero that we've seen in this series. So it is a fun twist on the mythos of certain characters. So definitely looking forward to it.
Marvel Comics, The House of Ideas. Here we go. Domino number 2. Gail Simone, David Beltran, Unlucky Stars. Alex, did you read the first issue?
I read it today.
And?
It's good, but the one thing I noticed, and Gail doesn't normally do this, she kind of had that crutch that Rick Remender had, where when Domino's getting the shit kicked out of her, she's talking about it, and it pulled me right out of the issue. The other parts of it were really good. It was a little wordy, but that's kind of Gail's style, is just to have a lot of talking and the characters moving you along the story. But when she started talking about herself getting beat up, I was like, really? Come on. It looked really great. The art was fantastic. So I'll be getting issue 2. I mean, I probably won't drop this book unless it really took a shit on me.
It's just a mini too, isn't it?
I don't know. It doesn't say in here that it is a mini. I would assume it's only 6 issues long.
I thought it was just a mini, but I don't know. I guess I'm not sure for sure.
I know there's a one-shot based off her dog coming out.
Oh, really?
Domino's dog.
Yeah.
By Gail Simone.
Pip. There you go.
Hunt for Wolverine, Ant-Man Team Agenda number 1. This is Tom Taylor, R.B. Silva, Greg Land on cover. Sneak a sound that once made blood run cold, which the Avengers want to ensure is never used for evil again. Garrett, I know you're getting this. We have your writer of the last year, Tom Taylor, and has a cover that has Iron Man. Is it Nick Fury? Spider-Man and Jessica Jones? No.
It's Luke Cage.
It's Luke Cage.
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Okay, that makes more sense. Looking forward to it?
Yeah. Tom Taylor's kind of my blind buy. And the concept for the story is it's kind of like the Illuminati, if the Avengers Illuminati are going to be looking for Wolverine, even though it's basically just Iron Man. I don't remember those other guys being on. I don't think they were even through Hickman's run, but or New Avengers, I guess. But I think this will be one of the best minis of the 4 that are coming out for the hunt for Wolverine, because I think they're the ones that can actually have a chance of finding Wolverine. So basically, after Hunt for Wolverine, there's a certain part about Logan that is definitely going to make it hard to find him. So very excited for this book and see what happens next.
What, is he dead?
I'm not telling you.
Old Man Logan, number 39, Ed Brisson, Abraham Robinson. Logan isn't healing the way he used to. Something is wrong. Recent fights are leaving their marks in ways he never experienced before. Beating down Logan. Goes to the one person he thought he could always count on for help, the X-Men. When an old pupil of Logan asks for his help, it's Logan's enemies who will learn the hardest lesson. This old dog still has bite. 2 questions. Alex, you caught up?
Yes.
That wasn't one of the questions, but how's this book? And also, do you believe, reading from that solicit and reading from what you know of the issue, are they kind of making it so that he's going to lose his healing power and then maybe he'll die? And then that's how they get rid of him?
I wouldn't be surprised, because I think the more I've read this ongoing series, he really has just gotten weaker and weaker. And you know what? He's not the Wolverine. He's a weaker version of him who, no offense, I would much rather see young Wolverine go, "Old man, you did a good job. Let me help you out." And then he just stabs him. Be done with it. I read 37, 38 back to back. 37 I thought was actually pretty weak. 38 I enjoyed, where Wolverine's actually talking to the Kingpin, fights Bullseye. Actually a fairly good story. I'm hopeful that this I'm assuming the last couple issues, hopefully it picks up and leaves a good taste in my mouth. As of right now, I'm kind of going, I could almost live without this book. But Craven comes in 2 issues, so I gotta stay on.
Garrett, what do you think of Old Man Logan?
I actually really enjoyed the last arc with Bullseye and Kingpin, especially since, we all read that Kingpin mini about his biography that was written by, I can't remember her name right now, but
Sarah Dewey.
Sarah Dewey. She plays a big part in that arc. So I didn't really have the same stipulations that Alex did, but it does feel weird that, there's this huge hunt for current, Wolverine, and that Old Man Logan's still in the universe. And, I think that, definitely that's going to have to be addressed very soon. I don't think Marvel Universe is big enough for both of them. So, but still, right now, until modern Wolverine is back in the yellow and blue, I think that this has still been a great book, and excited to see what happens next.
Yellow and blue? When's the last time he wore that fucking costume?
Question for you.
I know, because he's been dead. He's been gone.
How long has Wolverine been dead? Has it been 3 years?
2014. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I can check it out. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
Well, the reason I bring it up is I wonder if Sabretooth has been a quote-unquote anti-hero, good guy, bad guy, / whatever you want to do. Hopefully, when young man Logan comes back, I want Sabretooth to be evil again.
Well, you look at that. 2014.
I want them to duke it out, and I want Sabretooth to call Wolverine Runt and then just beat the shit out of him.
I was right, 2014. It's been gone for 3 years. 4 years. Excuse me. Well, October 2014, so 3.5. Star Wars Darth Vader number 16, Charles Soule, Elia Bonetti, Giuseppe Cavicoli on the art. Garrett, how's Darth Vader? By the way, Darth Vader, right? Anakin? Spoilers?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Obviously. I just read issue 15, and right now they're kind of in a battle with the same species as, Admiral Akbar is in the book. They're I can't remember what their species is called, but the calamari or whatever.
Yeah, the calamari.
And I don't know. I thought issue 15 was the weakest of the entire series. I didn't think it was horrible, but like, you know, Darth Vader was barely in the book. It was very, you know, what is Tarkin's maneuver versus the king of the Kalmarians' tactics. And I was like, you know, I kind of get this book to see Darth Vader just kind of do his thing. So I'm hoping this book will kind of turn it around because it seems like it's coming to a head this arc. I still love the art, and yeah, I'm excited for Darth Vader to kill a lot of people and keep getting darker.
Do you have a lot of expectations of your books? Maybe you should just let them come to you and be what they are. I'm just kidding.
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, would you ever read this book on the beach? Get some sand on your toes?
I hate the sand, even though I grew up on a sand planet that kind of surrounded everything.
Star Wars The Last Jedi adaptation #1. This is Garrett Witta, Michael Walsh on art. Just wanted to bring this up because I know Guessos One said he's getting all over this. He's going to buy it, so that's for him tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going to look for a good story in there.
Venom #1. He shut up. Venom #1. This is Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. A new series by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. This is the new Venom. I do know Alex is very excited for this. It's Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, and Ryan's been on. What was the last book he was on? It was a Spider-Man book, right?
He was on the Wolverine book originally, but he was only on it for a couple issues. Then I think he was it Renew Your Vows?
Yeah, he was on there for a while. So like for a while, Ryan Stegman was a guy who would be on a book for like one arc and then he would be off. But I think...
Oh, damn. I just looked at the preview. The art looks fucking amazing.
That's what I mean. For like Renew Your Vows, he wasn't in the book for a while. So we get Donny Cates, we get Ryan Stegman on this. We don't know how long Donny Cates is on this book, but I do believe that the art would be great for a little bit as long as Ryan's on it. Alex, what do you think? Venom, one of your favorite characters, if I'm not speaking wrong right now. And now we have Donny Cates, one of your favorite writers.
This is one of those books that when you guys told me that Donny Cates was going to be taking it on, I used to really love Venom. Then they just kind of changed his character for me. I was like, that's not what I want. I'm fairly certain Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman can take this character in a way that I'm so excited to get this book. A little disappointed though that it's $4.99, but I shouldn't be surprised. It's Marvel. Gotta jack that #1 up for me. So
of course.
Of course.
Hey, they're not using, from what I've seen from Avengers, they're not using that shitty paper covers anymore. It's like a glossy paper.
Yeah. So we'll see if that's true. Maybe it'll still be a washed, stained paper, but we'll find out.
This will be my first time going outside #GuestHost1's reading list and getting it myself. So this is my first ever bought Venom issue. So I'm excited.
Wait,
is he not getting it?
No, he's going to get it still. I am too.
No, I doubt it.
No, I swear to God.
He knows that you're going to get it, so he's not going to get it. You tell that boy.
He doesn't get to read it then.
Boom, do it.
We've already talked about it.
Respect.
Those are the comics coming out for May 9th, 2018. There's nothing down below you want to talk about, right? Upside down?
No.
I didn't see anything down there either. The book's coming out. Garrett, what do you think? What's going to be? Well, what are you looking forward to the most?
Batman White Knight #8. That one I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be one of the best finales of a mini ever. And I think you're right, Marvin. I think that if they're making such great sales, I think they're definitely going to return to this universe. And I think Sean Murphy wouldn't have wasted 12 tweets explaining the rules of how his universe would work if he wrote a sequel. So I'm excited.
I hope they get that Black Label put out, and I hope it gets re-released.
You just want to see that Harley Quinn sex scene.
I know you do too.
Alex, what book are you looking forward to?
I'm going to take Venom #1. Donny Cates has proven to me that he can write a great book. Obviously, Thanos, one of my favorite 6-issue runs ever. And I cannot wait to see what he does with Venom, with Ryan Stegman right behind him doing the great art.
I'm looking forward to Justice League No Justice #1. Because Manapool, I've seen his art for a while. I'm a fan of Manapool from way back in the day. He did a Superboy series, I believe. Is that him? Maybe, possibly. I can see the cover in my head. I think it's him. And just this group of writers that actually did it together to do pretty great work. I did like that preview. So Justice League, no Justice #1. Looking forward to it. Alex, we've had a nice couple days. Are things going to remain that way, or are we going to have some bad weather?
Well, I think we finally found spring. But by spring, I mean like 80-degree weather that feels like summer. And soon, we all know those balls are going to be sticking to your thighs. So get the ice packs out.
Holy shit. Totally forgot about
Drink
that.
the iced tea that you have. Get some ice cream. It's going to be getting kind of warm. But, where we live, you never know. Usually it's always windy. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's always windy where we live. Could rain. You know what? I looked outside. There were some clouds. You never know what the clouds are going to do.
The power might go out.
The power might, yeah. This morning I woke up at 6:17. Power goes kaput. Out for an hour. Luckily, it was light out. I wasn't afraid for very long.
God.
It was out for me too. That's how close me and Alex live together in the dark. Garrett,
Yeah, you're only a beanbag chair apart.
Garrett, don't be jealous, but tell me how them roads are.
You know what? This week does have some fun books and some books that I'm looking forward to, but it's not one of those weeks that I'm like, oh my God, I want all this stuff. So I think that, you can take your time getting to the shop, except for, maybe like Venom and Isola and Justice League. Those are definitely going to be your top picks. Some other books to look forward to, but everything else, they kind of seem like, I forgot Batman White Knight, but they kind of seem like B, A- to B+ excitement level. So I need an A+++ to get like, holy shit, I'm already at the shop, guys, like right now. So
Garrett,
to be fair, I could see you being at the shop already. So
Alex was saying it's been 80 degrees the last couple of days, and guess what? Pot Hill's still out here. You're not going out there when it's
go
hot?
get some fucking caulk, and I mean CAULK, and fill it yourself.
That's what the road's going to be like. You know what? I think I'm with you on a little bit there, Garrett. It's not the greatest week, but there's potential there. It could be
Right.
Justice League is like the best thing I read in my whole life. Maybe not. Venom could be the whole thing, best thing I read in my whole life. I am going to try it out for Donnie Cates' sake. Southern Masters could reignite my love for that and then go on break, so I forget about it again. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things here that could happen, and plus, with the weather that Alex is predicting, we should have some good reading weather. You know what they say, though, right? If
chilly today, hot tomorrow.
yeah.
Oh, God.
So once you get over that rain, you get a chance to read. Next day's hot tamale. You'll see Garrett out there filling them cracks. So for Wednesday Comics, I've been Marvin.
I'm Alex.
I'm Garrett.
Everyone, keep drinking that iced tea and keep reading those books.